Hong Kong is a global financial centre and a cultural capital. In 1962, the Hong Kong Museum of Art was founded on one side of its world-famous harbour and today sits on the other side, with a lifetime role as a witness and participant in the major events that have shaped this city. I'm James Chow, host of the China Current. 60 years after its creation, I speak with Dr. Maria Mok, museum director and guardian of an artistic legacy. 1962 was the year of the Cuban Missile Crisis, the death of Marilyn Monroe, and also the arrest in South Africa of Nelson Mandela. But it was also the start of the City Hall Art Gallery Museum, which became what it is today, the Hong Kong Museum of Art. What was the vision of its original cultural architects?
I remember reading an article by John Warner, our first chief curator of the Hong Kong Museum of Art. He arrived in Hong Kong in the late 1950s, and one of the observations he had was that there is nothing cultural in this city. There was no proper venue for art exhibitions, and he was really shocked at the time. All the venues for exhibitions are temporary display area. And I think by the time when the City Hall was built and opened in March 1962, it was really the first time when this city has been offered basic amenities to a more civilized way of living, because the City Hall housed a library, a theater, concert hall, and a museum.
Holding this role as a keeper of legacy that are a window onto the oldest living civilization today, how huge is that responsibility, not only for your predecessors, but also for you?
What's really important is how we use that collection to tell the story of a Hong Kong legacy. We represent Hong Kong in art. Sometimes with ancient culture, you do have to find an alternative way, a very unconventional approach to tell that story, to disarm people, because when they don't know so much about traditional stories, they feel intimidated. So our mission is really to curate the collection with a contemporary touch, so that people are not intimidated by knowledge that could be otherwise alien to them in a way, and to offer them alternative understanding to art and to connect art with everyday's life.
Your collection numbers over 18,000 now, and the museum describes it as one that spans generations, but one that also travels from the ordinary to the extraordinary. It may be easy to think first of the so-called extraordinary pieces that stand out, but what are some of the ordinary works that we should equally be aware of?
Indeed, we've been talking about star pieces, star collections, star curators sometimes for years. And to celebrate our 60th anniversary, we want to celebrate the uncelebrated. And by uncelebrated, I'm talking about there are a lot of museums who collect extraordinary art pieces, but museums like us who have been around for a longer time, we also collect key moments. And these key moments are encapsulated in artworks. It could be a turning point in the career of an artist. It could be a breakthrough in our historical research. It could be a pivotal moment in a technical development in art. For the 60th anniversary, I'm not offering just one ordinary piece, but I'm offering an ordinary or uncelebrated chapter, and it's now on display in our exhibition called In Between, where you will find a very small but carefully selected list of collections that are symbols of our turning points, the turning points that we collected.
You've gone from helping Hong Kong transform from a financial centre, a trading centre, to a thriving cultural space, where this museum sits alongside the Hong Kong Palace Museum and also the M+ as well. Do you think that there is a likelihood that culture and the arts will become the DNA of this city in times to come?
I think the DNA of the city always has an important part in its art and culture. But what is more important is how we tell the world who we are through art and culture. So it's not that there are certain art that defines us, but can we use art to portray, to give the world a portraiture of who we are.
Please give a warm welcome for James Chow.
I'm James Chow, host of the China Current, with a glimpse into tomorrow's world and stories about the human experience everywhere.